Gorgeous Taylor, and I thought I'd wind things down for all the nano preparations by giving you a list of a few things that work for me to help me overcome some of the obstacles during NaNoWriMo and for writing in general. One of the things is distractions. I mean, we all have them. For people who are like me with ADHD, it's a little bit worse, or maybe a lot worse, depending. One of the things that helps me clear up some of the distractions is to shut down my social media, to turn off my phone, to use the full screen mode. And I write sometimes I haven't yet set a timer, but I've noticed that I do a lot better when I write in increments of time, like when we're doing word sprints. I did my first word sprints last year, and I had a really good time with it, did some really good numbers with the word sprints, and I did the same thing over the camps, and it helped. Another thing that I think makes it easier is if you clean up your work area, whether you have a writing room or a desk in a corner. I have done all of the above. I have been in my bedroom, my living room, my dining room. I've had the other writing room that my son is now in that had the aqua colored walls. I'm now in this room. I've rearranged things and tried to put them in a way that works for me. I clean off my desk. I sort through everything. I have everything handy. My index cards are right here. I keep my writer's notebook beside me. Right now I have, so that I know where I'm at, I have this, which is a chart. It kind of keeps me where I'm going with the hero's journey. I also have this, and I know it seems kind of redundant, but I have these, and I keep them right there. They stay right underneath my keyboard so that when I need to, I can glance at where I'm at. It helps me, one, make sure that I'm on task with my outline, because I have converted from being a pantser to a loose outliner. And this is my first time truly, like, really working with an outline of such proportions and actually using it. Another thing that I wanted to address is the fear of failure. Failure, it's scary. Not being good at something, or thinking that you're not talented enough, or that maybe what you write isn't good enough, or it sucks. I mean, but you have to embrace that it's going to be okay for it to suck to begin with. A first draft is going to be shitty. It's okay. You keep working on it until it's better, and then you have beta readers and things like that that will help, and you get feedback, and it gets better and better, and it's okay if the first draft is shit. Another thing that I think sometimes we're a little bit uncomfortable either talking about ourselves as a writer, or that even if it's a hobby or it's just for fun, we don't want to own up to it. And I think it makes it better. You have less self-doubt if you own up to, hey, I'm a writer. Hey, I'm doing NaNoWriMo. Hey, this is important to me. You're much less likely to quit when you own that. Another thing is, like I said, with it's okay if if the first draft is crappy. We want things to be perfect, and instead of embracing that shitty first draft, we start questioning ourselves, and then you start thinking, well, maybe I don't need to work on this one. Maybe I need to work on something else, and then you start having the other ideas. I did that last NaNoWriMo, and it ended up working out okay, because I ended up with this novel that I am now completely redoing. But in the beginning, when I was working on in NaNoWriMo, the novel I was working on first, it was a good one. Then I had this really good idea, which happened to be this novel now. And instead of writing that idea down, I started going with it. And that one I pantsed, and the other one I had a semi-outline for. And I got a lot of words and I got a lot of good stuff, but I never finished either novel. Not completely. So that perfectionism, just instead of bailing on either novel, I chose to try to do two at the same time, and that just doesn't work for me. It didn't work for me. Like I said, that's the urge to switch to what you are doing. If you are not sure about it, like I said, write it down in a notebook or start a Scrivener project, write your stuff down, and then close it. And then go back to it later on once you're finished working on what you're working on, once NaNoWriMo is over. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about is not having enough time, like time management and balancing everything. Most of us are really busy, and NaNoWriMo is a very busy month because there is a holiday in it. So you feel like sometimes you don't have the time to write. You don't have enough time. But if you were to cut out some of the distractions that I talked about earlier, like social media, you'd probably have more time. Less time on your phone, less time on the tablet, less time on the desktop, less time on the laptop, less time looking at Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and you would have some extra time, an extra 15 minutes or even an extra hour, depending on how much you are on social media. Interruptions. I get them all the time. It doesn't matter whether I shut my door or not. Right now, I'm home by myself, so the door is cracked simply because I get in the habit of shutting the door when I'm in here working. But the phone will ring, or somebody will yell out my name or something. And it doesn't seem to matter whether I'm busy researching or whether I'm busy writing. It doesn't really matter. And my daughter said something to me yesterday that really resonated with me. And I've been telling myself, but not, I guess, seriously enough. If I don't take myself seriously as a writer, and this is my job, then nobody else is going to. And I have to first and foremost take myself seriously as a writer. To help with interruptions, you can use a set of headphones. You can put a sign on the door. You can shut your door and then put a sign on the door. If you don't have a door you can shut, you can, like I said, put on headphones. You can let people know ahead of time that you need to write for an hour, or maybe you need to write for 20 minutes or whatever. Or get out of the house. Go somewhere else. Go to a library. Go to a coffee shop. Go outside, go wherever that you can go. If you can't do it inside your own home, then go outside of the house and go write somewhere there. The library, coffee houses, things like that are really great. My first 3 semesters in college, I was at the Waffle House and a couple of other places like a coffee shop and things like that, and we would gather a group of us for study time and for doing our homework and for writing papers, because it was really hard in the very beginning of college because I lived at home. I didn't live in a dorm. I was older. I was a single parent. So I took that time and away from all of the distractions to do some of the stuff that I knew I needed to do without distractions. And being around other people who were doing the same thing helped. One of the few last things I kind of wanted to talk about is it gets tiring. NaNoWriMo, I drink a lot of coffee. I do a lot of things that help with that, but it doesn't help completely get rid of the being tired. I don't know if there's enough coffee to cancel out the overworking myself and staying up really late during NaNoWriMo. But what has helped me, I think, is getting up in the mornings and going for a walk. First, when I do that, when I exercise and I get my blood circulating and stuff, it seems to help. I also put aside time and have a time away from my novel, time away from writing, just some me time for at least 15 minutes where it's quiet and peaceful and I'm either just reading a book for enjoyment or I'm doing nothing and just relaxing. Sometimes I'll go out in the yard and take a little walk around the yard. I'll prune my roses, something like that. It helps me focus, and then I work harder when I'm not quite so tired, and I feel more energized when I take that time for myself as well. Speaking of taking time for yourself and things like that, one of the worst things in the world that you can do is to have the negativity that I can't do this, or I'm a failure, or I suck at this, or oh, I can put it off, and you procrastinate. That's self-defeating. If you think about it, you set a timer, or if you force yourself to kind of sit there, if you listen to yourself and you go, wait a minute, if somebody else were doing this, would I be saying that to them? Remember to treat yourself as nicely and as generously and compassionately as you treat others. So if somebody that you care about and love was doing something like NaNoWriMo, or their hobby or their job were like writing, then music or art, a creative pursuit in general, would you treat them the way that you're treating yourself? I wouldn't treat them that way. So I've had to learn not to treat myself that way. Ask yourself how much you want it. I mean, what do you really want to do? Why are you doing NaNoWriMo? Why is NaNoWriMo important to you? And if NaNoWriMo is important to you because you've always wanted to write a novel, hey, you've got a really good opportunity to do just that. I hope you guys have a good one. Happy NaNoWriMoing. It is the 29th of October. Today is Thursday. Saturday night is NaNoWriMo Eve. So we don't have very much time after today. We have Friday, Saturday. So we have 2 days left. Have a good one, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.